promos, and when you go into the shop front, you don't just see reviews, you can also interact and message them. You can also see the product catalog, which then of course leads to their e-commerce website. And over here, I guess, that can be a Shopify page. So today, Google and Shopify, right? So who is Google, right? Just a quick 2-3 minutes over here. Our mission essentially is to organize the world's information, right, and making it universally accessible and useful. For me, keywords here actually is universally accessible, not just to you or I, but you and I, right? And we want to make things as useful as we possibly can as well, right? Of course, we have some core values over here, respecting the user, which is you and I, in terms of our privacy, in terms of kind of how we disseminate information, and we want to respect the opportunity here, right? Whether it's the e-commerce boom coming up or whether it's really an opportunity to grow, learn feedback from all of us, right? And in a very respectable fashion at the end of the day, all right? More can be found in the link at the bottom left corner here. We've also transited. I think the Google that you know today and the Google that was before has rapidly evolved, right? We started in the garage, with 2 founders in there. Everything was broken, nothing was fixed. And today we actually have Sundar Pichai heading the company, and we are building so many products for all of us to use, whether consumers or whether it is, whether it's businesses alike. Some of my favorite products over here that you'll see, right? Search, of course, right? Anything that you don't know, you ask Google, right? Anything you don't know, yes, you can ask your mom, but I like to ask Google. Anywhere you want to go that you do not know directions for, Maps is there. Translate, of course. There's now the connected homes. And I think on the right side over here that you see on screen, actually I use a lot of Google Photos to store my photos online, right? Where it catalogs and it's actually all for free, right? YouTube, of course, I think YouTube is Philippines is a very huge YouTube market over here. So, all the content, beautiful content that I watch every single time, thanks to all of us over here, right? To keeping me entertained and, at the end of the day, learning something new every single time I watch a YouTube video, right? And for businesses more specifically, in the bottom right corner here, you have Google My Business. It's a free platform, like I said earlier, for Lululemon, right? It's what they're using on the back end. We have, as you can see here, so many products. Half of them I don't even know myself, right, in depth. So pick and choose, but at the end of the day, what I want to emphasize here is the fact that with all these products that everyone uses on a day-to-day basis, whether it's users like you and I, businesses alike, or developers to kind of enhance the entire ecosystem, the ecosystem is strong, right? But at the same time, while using these products, right, that also funnels, at the end of the day, user signals, right, which as merchants, we can then leverage upon to disseminate and get out the word out there, so that when people are searching for something, when they're in the user space using something, right? Say, for example, I'm on Google searching for something, on YouTube watching a review, on Google Maps trying to look for a location to the nearest restaurant, searching for something that some place I can buy, my diapers, for example. All these intent signals are captured, right? And with ever exploding number of products, we can also see how that changes the consumer journey, right? In the past, it was very simple. You think you want to buy something, a Dove over here, you evaluate kind of Dove versus something else, you purchase it, right? Whether it's online or offline, and then you try it. If you like it, you buy more of it, repeat users. If you don't, so be it. Reconsider something else, right? So it's the one single funnel, right, that we can see on the bottom left corner over here, but that has changed, right? In the rapid growth of this whole e-commerce boom, that has also complicated a lot of the customer journey, right? So you can see here, to buy a same pair of shoes, someone can take 65 touch points, while others can take 300, right? Maybe, someone like my mom, she's more cautious, right? She likes to really do the research, right? More so than for me, for example, I'm just like, I want to buy a pair of shoes, red shoes, okay, what brand? Boom, done, right? But at the end of the day, we're still buying the same thing. So the marketing funnel in this aspect over here has rapidly evolved has been broken up into many more micro marketing funnels, which also makes things much costly for merchants like you and I trying to sell things out to users, right? To marry that with the users at the end of the day. So what our recommendation has been actually is to go after only the green portions of all the marketing funnel, the bottom aspect of it. Maybe if you have a little bit more ammunition, go after the blue parts as well, right? But target the bottom end of the funnel. The demand is there when everybody is trying to sell something. The intent is there as users try to get more and more excited about it. So would I necessarily try to generate demand for that demand to be captured by someone else? That's something for you and I to evaluate, right? So if I were a small medium business, I actually will go after the blue and green portions more so. Then you're gonna ask me, Flo, how do I do that? Right? So before I touch into that, right, just a quick introduction of the Google page. That has also evolved. You can see kind of how, it's no longer just an index. There are images, there are shoppings. Some of these are free. Many of these are free actually, right? Whether it's organic or what have you. And a single search, like a UV sanitizer. Ignore the red shoes. I couldn't find, that particular slot on the top for UV sanitizers. That's why I placed red shoes in there. But if I were to search for UV sanitizers, right, you will have kind of shopping options laid out at the top or on the right side of the page. And then it goes into kind of the organic stack. There is also videos that you can see. What are people talking about on YouTube? Social influencer marketers, they're talking. And of course, there are 10 million other searches, all these done in a single second, right? So that's kind of the power. And how do you then own and capture this intention signals, right? Becomes where we go into next. Before and with that, actually, I just want to show how your profile actually is looking like, right? So if you can just walk through with me, open a new tab, go and search for accounts.google.com. On the left side, click on data and personalization, go into ad settings, and you can see kind of your intent signals. These are what the Google ecosystem has captured for me when I'm using all the many products, that we were talking about earlier, that all belongs to Google, right? All these that get aggregated, and these these intent signals get aggregated, and then that allows us to formulate segments that, we can service, for our merchants afterwards. Right. So the power of that actually allows us to juice this up, right? The engineers then kind of mash this together, right? And, bucket it into this thing called in-market audiences. What are people actively, allow you to target people who are actively researching and intending to buy a certain something, in servicing them the ad. Right, and we do this through kind of all the things that you can see on the slide, right? Whether it's through signals, what the behavior is, surveys, and we scale this up and we kind of bundle it together so the machine actually works, right? So that you and I can attack and target these people when they're next watching YouTube or next doing a Google search. Okay, so. And what we then do is we wanted to make this as simple as possible as well, right? So we essentially bundle them together. The engineers on the back end actually categorize them as well. So these are very pre-made signals, pre-made buckets of people that you can go after. Over here there's only 18, but there's more. There's like 1,000 of them, right? Subcategories, subtopics. This is just one example. I know one of the questions asked later is B2B marketing, so I was like, I just put in something that looks like business services, right? So you can see at the top is business service, but actually it's segments and it's sub-segments. So you can go very detailed if you actually want to, depending on whatever you're trying to sell, whether B2B or B2C, whether a pair of red shoes or whether it's whatever it is over here. All right. So if on the more Shopify specific thing, right? Because we are doing e-commerce, the solution that Google then has actually is this. The depth of this actually can be found in the folder. So feel free to go after it. Right. There are a lot of things in there, but essentially we have crafted this simple solution for all of us to really address the full product stack that Google has, so that whenever someone is on anywhere in the Google realm, they can be serviced an ad, right? And to service the ad, but that will make things very complicated for merchants like you and I, to try to set things up. I want to go after, be on Google search. I want to be on Google, on YouTube. I want to be on Google Maps. No, don't bother, right? Don't bother about that anymore. We bundle them together and we optimize all of these things towards your final goal, which of course for you and I is going to be checkouts. It's going to be lifetime value. It's going to be, repeat purchases or even new customer acquisitions, right, on your Shopify page. So that's kind of how smart, the Google Sphere has been to simplify things for you and I. You don't even need to do targeting anymore, actually. You just tell Google, these are my set of products. I'm going after this set of users and this set of goals, right? I want 20 times return on ad spend. So for every $1 I spend, I want people to check out $20 worth of goods. As simple as that. Let the system run. All right, let the system run. All right. Some other useful resources for you over here before we end off the chat, right? It's really there's so many free things out there. Go in and find them, right? Because Google has done quite a lot actually over the last many years to really help all of us get access to information, right? Even without Flo being here, right? You can still service yourself, right? So there's Grow with Google, where we actually work with the local governments to really enable the users, developers, students, businesses, what have you, to really help them thrive and be better versions of themselves, right? So that we together, alleviate the entire market upwards. Think with Google is really where our thought leadership perspectives, articles, trends, insights are found. You can subscribe to them. You will just shoot an email into your inbox every other day, maybe not every other day, but every once in a while, so that you get access to the latest trends for Philippines or around the world. And in the last few months, right, the fact that there was COVID, a lot of things around COVID was being done. So it's first real-time kind of information that you get access to. What should I do with my business? How should I pivot? What are some of the things I should look out for? It's all in Think with Google, right? And for those of us who want to learn more about business, right? Business, accounting, how do I manage my inventory, stocks, my stock, kind of like inventory. How do I do it, right? Because I don't know where to start, right? Google Primer app, right, actually allows you kind of modular, bite-sized, card-sized kind of content that you and I can learn, swipe through, read through, when whether you're in the toilet, whether you're at your work desk, whatever it is, right? But they're mini courses built for, people like you and I. Very, very beautiful. I love it. Go and play around with it. So yourprimer.com, that's where it is. Okay, so in the interest of time, I can share it on and on. I can go on for 2 more hours, but I shouldn't today because it's Saturday and I want us to really take away really the crux of how do I marry my Shopify store with kind of getting the word out there. And in the middle really is the whole Google intention signals piece, right? If there are further questions, 2 ways. One, you can LinkedIn search me. I'm not that difficult to find. There are not many Flows around. They work in Google. That's a guy, right? The second thing is you have my name card now. I would have distributed it to you face to face, but unfortunately it's a crisis right now. And the third thing is, if you want, you can scan the folder, scan the QR code. You get access to really a lot more depth of the content, which I couldn't have covered today, right? So really go in there and see it for yourself. Read through the decks. There are a lot of implementation stuff. There are also a lot of strategic stuff, updates. It's gorgeous. All right. So with that, thank you so much. Nerissa, you back?
Hi,